Uh-oh, the doctor's in session.
Scalpel.
Are you going to be timer?
No! I'm allergic. See, he's allergic too. Can you be timer? Dr. Kim? Can you be timer?
Good morning, Toastmasters. We'll clock in on time at 7:30. And before we start, we have a skeleton crew, so Merry Christmas! We're starting all over again. Happy New Year! Okay, so we don't have Jerry.
What was she doing?
Well, she's not coming. That's all she's kind of indicated.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Yeah, she was Evaluator 1. And I think we should stick Nate in there. Because you got a word for us, don't you?
Oh, yeah, synergy.
No,
Oh!
Hello?
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Was on sale at Long's.
I thought it was a chocolate bar. I'm like, thank God it's no chocolate. It was like,
This was on sale.
that was on sale.
$1.50.
Okay.
You're worth every penny of it.
Oh, gee, thanks. What the heck?
I couldn't find a yellow one.
Oh, not
Oh, for timer. Our timer things. Yeah.
No, or drum set.
Yeah, they're nut crackers. You put the nut in there and it cracks. Or you can just kind of...
Can they fight each other?
Yes, they can.
All right.
They are able to combat. Okay. Funny name tag. The boss. I think I'm the boss.
The president is more than a boss.
So we have our roles filled. Yes, I think. Oh, we're just gonna start. Aren't we gonna start? So I'll explain the theme. The theme was little new beginnings, because I thought of that because of like New Year's resolutions, and I was trying to get some stuff going on, and I thought about if you make one big resolution or a couple big resolutions, then you back off from it and it never happens and you forget about it. So, but the little ones, one little thing you can do, one small little baby step, one kimono step. You know kimono steps, right? One little thing, and then stuff actually starts to happen. Yes, Leilani. I was just explaining the theme. But yeah, and so now do that on your own time. Invocation for today is Greg. Let's have Greg. Yay! Invocation. Just make. Just what do I gotta do? Make something up.
Wait.
Just break dance.
I think I'm a generally better.
You can be that too. We got plenty of roles for everybody now. Invocation.
Okay, let's start off with the pledge of allegiance.
She's not here.
Oh, tape it.
This idea for the speech came to me quite organically last month when I was sick twice in December, so I missed about two weeks of work. The second time I was sick was much, much worse. I was just really congested in my head and chest. I had a terrible cough. No temperature, thankfully, but just lots and lots of congestion. And I coughed so bad I lost my voice for a few days. I could barely talk above a whisper. And it was at that time, I think 2 days before Christmas, I'd already been out the first half of the week, and I realized, hey, I just missed payday. So I texted my boss. He said, yes, it is payday, and I don't get direct deposit, so I had to head on down to Kahala to get my paycheck. wasn't a hassle except for the fact that it was 2 days before Christmas, so there was no parking anywhere. And I was getting really frustrated because I wasn't feeling well. I just had a really short fuse. So I circled the parking lot, and then I saw all of these open spots here by the bank, the big Bank of Hawaii that's outside of the mall. All these spots open. So, okay, I'll be quick. I'll be fine. But in the back of my head, I had this worry of there's going to be a parking security attendant. And sure enough, as soon as I get out of my car, I lock the car, I look over, there's this lady just sitting in a white van. Might have had something on the side, might not, I can't remember. But she had a neon green polo shirt on, which really tipped me off. I'm like, this lady is working right now. And so I lock my car, I look over at her, and I go, oh no. I'm like, you're not working right now, are you? And she somehow gleans the context or meaning behind my strange question. Yes, I'm working right now and I'm security. And she says, the parking lot is for bank use only. And I say, please, 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 please don't make me repark. I'll be quick. There's so many spaces here. I'm not going to inconvenience anybody, right? And with a little bit more begging, she said, okay, go ahead. Because my voice was so hoarse, I could barely talk. So I said, please, please, I just need to go get my paycheck from the counter and go get some cold medicine at Long's. And so she said, sure. She didn't smile. She didn't change her demeanor, but she said, go ahead. I won't din you. And so I run to work. I get my paycheck. I had to wait a little bit for that because everybody was busy. And then I went to Long's and got my cold medicine. And I head back to the car, and I'm worried. Like, this lady's probably going to mess with me. As soon as I got out of her eyesight, I'm sure she probably, called the tow truck, right? Well, no, she didn't. She did exactly what she said she did, that she said she was going to, and she didn't mess with me. She let me park there for 15, 20 minutes. And as I walked back to my car, I said, thank you so much. You made my day so much easier. God bless you. And she said, all right, yeah, no problem. I said thanks or something. But again, very, very just kind of like a stone, matter of fact. No smile. I really thought I was going to get a smile out of her, but that's what gave me the idea for the speech, is I just used Speechcraft. Now let me tell you where I got the idea for Speechcraft. As you all know, I'm an avid gamer. And in a lot of RPGs that I played, role-playing games, for those unfamiliar, there are all of these skills, like athleticism, acrobatics, like sword skills, archery, magic. And then way at the bottom of the list, one of the things that is the least desirable, most people don't go for this, is Speechcraft. Now, Speechcraft in RPGs it's not too far off from reality, actually. What Speechcraft is your ability to manipulate the language, whichever language you're speaking, to kind of persuade or even hypnotize at the very height of this skill. You would be hypnotizing people to do your bidding or do what you want them to do, right? This is not hypnotism. I don't have that skill, nor would I want that skill necessarily. So we're just talking about Speechcraft, the power of subtle suggestion and just choosing the right words and the right tone to get people to kind of go along with what you want to do, right? So that parking lot example, great example, I think. That's really what made it pop into my head. I just use Speechcraft. And in the RPG, you always roll dice. So I feel like I got just a perfect dice roll on that very human and very holiday encounter. So it really warmed my heart. Just a little while later, actually, earlier this week, I have another example where my allergies were just running haywire again. And I took everything. It's just going to be one of these days, and I have a bad day. And so I got to work, and I immediately asked the on-duty supervisor, do you think I could switch with the prep person today? Because I don't really feel good enough to work on the line. And he considered it. He said, yeah, I don't have a problem with that, but I had to wait for her to show up. So for an hour, I was just doing all of the line prep, slicing all the lettuce, tomatoes, all that stuff. I knew once service started, I wasn't going to be able to work on the line, sneezing as bad as I was. So once again, I just said, pretty please, asking Alexa, who I haven't really seen that much, but she was doing prep that day. I said, can I please trade with you? I'm not feeling well. And she says, yeah, no problem, without even really thinking about it. And so my boss came in a little bit later, And he goes, oh, what you doing back here? And I said, oh, I traded with Alexa. It's fine with her. I'm feeling really kind of today with my allergies. And so again, he said, yeah, that's fine. He's a pretty reasonable guy. I've called out quite a few times just for allergies, so he understands how bad that is. Now, speechcraft is something I'm thinking more about because it can be so useful. I mean, think about if I had not talked to that parking lot attendant. If I had just said, oh, I'll just risk it, and I hadn't said a single word to her, she probably would have got right on the horn and called the tow truck guy, right? So there was a little bit of a premonition there, a little bit of just kind of concise observation of, that really looks like a parking lot attendant. I think I'm going to get ahead of this and talk to her. The reason I think speechcraft is so cool is that you can really change the outcome of any given situation, any given day. You can really change the outcome by just being direct and really like looking at somebody and talking to them directly, like, hey, Mr. or Mrs. fellow human being, I would like to do this. Now, I know it's a little outside the norm. I know it's a little outside the rules, but do you think you could just bend the rules for me a little bit here? I mean, what harm is it going to do, right? There's all these spaces here. I'm not inconveniencing anybody. You make them see it from your point of view. Now, naturally, it's not always going to work. And there are easy people to do this with. I don't want to say control or manipulate because that's not really what it is. That's kind of where I draw the line with speechcraft. And then on the other side of that line is hypnotism. So I know there's quite a few books about hypnotism. I didn't take the time to look it up, but I know that that's actually a learnable skill, believe it or not. And I even still have a hard time believing it because I haven't yet done the research. But I know that you can actually, I guess, tap into something in here, some part of the subconscious or the connective piece between consciousness and subconsciousness. And you can actually plant an idea in somebody's head and make them think it's their idea. So they're going to go along with it because they think they have the idea. There was a movie about that called Inception, where they go into the guy's dream and make him come up with the idea to split up his own company. So it's a real thing. And I feel like right now, as I'm exploring this subject, where I'm drawing the line and why I'm drawing the line is that I consider myself to be a pretty morally upstanding person. And I would never make anyone do anything or say anything that was taking advantage of them or just making them go against their moral code, right? So speechcraft is like the soft version of this, where I just made somebody go along with helping me bend the rules a little bit, no harm done. And hypnotism would be like, hey, go steal that, go break into that jewelry store over there and get me some diamonds. Not doing that. So erring more on the side of Obi-Wan Kenobi, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along, go about your business. That sort of thing, and not go steal the jewels from the jewelry store. So in conclusion, I'm speaking to a bunch of Toastmasters today, but I could be speaking to a different group entirely. And this is something you guys probably already do. I'm guessing everybody in here does this to some degree. I'm just suggesting that, much like how it helped me recently, you could start employing speechcraft in your own lives. And really what it comes down to is connection with the other person or people, the empathy behind that. I mean, we're all having a human experience. We're all here to hopefully cooperate and have a better, easier time of it. And just say please. Just say please a lot. I find that helps a lot. And just be really sincere. People will pick up on if you're not being sincere. They'll pick up on if you are being manipulative or if you're lying, or especially if you're just trying to get them to go along with something that's like not good, like against the law or something like that. So try it out. And I'm definitely looking forward to doing some more research on this and doing the speech again, because I think it's very interesting. It's magic. It's real life superpowers. So that is Speechcraft 101. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ian. Speechcraft. Jedi mind trick. Also known as persuasion. We have 2 minutes to evaluate on the paper.
Why do I enjoy coming? Even the event is every single week. I think we broke a record, especially after this COVID pandemic. But more importantly, why will I convince the idea about my goals for 2024? There are 3 of them. 1, hobbies. We see a lot of people who are smoking, especially at bus stops, which clearly says smoking not allowed. And that's still people smoking cigarettes and vaping with these vapors. And it broke my heart to see these people in their teenagers, even 15, 16, smoking. And I've approached them. That was a big lesson for me. Everything I say, talk about speechcraft, I need to remodify how I talk. If you approach the person and say, hey, that's bad for you, smoking, get cancer like me. That's one way. That thing that worked very well. Actually, I was almost bumped in the street by this guy who was really aggressive. Well, it's none of your business. My other approach was one of sympathy, empathy. I say, hey, how old are you? 15, 16. How long have you been smoking? What's it feel like? What's it feel like if someone comes to you and tells you smoking is bad for you? I, for example, I have cancer. I think very probable that it was because of secondhand smoke. And I showed them this chemotherapy. So that's one way to talk to people, is understand from their point of view. And they are very happy to tell you how long you're smoking and everything. But if you took the other approach, they will flatly reject you. The second is about my career. I work hard, gain my license, and work as a physician in the Air Force and in tribal. And all of a sudden, they say, your license is terminated. You can no longer practice unless you take the exam all over again. Well, it really hurt. But then I thought about it. What if I stop doing that and do something else? And which I did. Very thankfully, that I have the opportunity to switch from a doctor to being a teacher. I learned more about human behavior through teaching students, high school students in their junior and senior years, teaching science. But finally, why do I need to do that? I need to show an example. One thing, I would like to do something different, something creative, make people happy. So that's why I invented this. Look at this eyebrow. I do this every single morning. Sometimes higher, sometimes lower, and sometimes on the decline, mostly on the uprise. People warn me, hey, it's causing you cancer. But I already have cancer. This thing about self-improvement in 2024 is a really big exercise for me. I have to think again what my principle of living, what my mission in life, from the one of convincing others to stop smoking to one of willing to give up my profession as a physician and turn to be a teacher, which I am very much grateful for that. And finally, I think I have to be the model. I have to show people by doing what I believe. So from today on, you can count on having a different eyebrow every day, and I give you the challenge. It's reversible. If you don't want to be permanent, put a Band-Aid over it and paint on the Band-Aid. If you think, want to try the whole thing, shave it off and pin on another one. So that's my advice. Feel free to experiment. In 2024, you'll be happy with it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Ken. Hey, Rose. Okay, a couple minutes and we'll do written evaluation.